Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sree Iyer. Today I'm going to actually go into listen mode as Rajesh Govindarajulu, my good friend, has actually read my book, Operation Bhasmasur, and he has a critique of it. And I told him, tell me the good, bad, and the ugly aspects of this book. And I'm going to now invite you to tell me your thoughts on what you found or how you found this book.
Oh, wow. I must definitely say this book is far more racier than the other books by you. It has everything that is required for a Netflix series or something with Amazon Prime, or it can be made into a movie at Bollywood or, at Chennai, Kollywood. I was just wondering, who are these two people, on the wrapper? Very nice images of two of the protagonists. There is a larger team here. This book, rightfully, Bhasmasur. What is this? Bhasmasur, Bhasmam. Bhasmasura was an old demon who had taken a boon from Lord Shiva, according to which on whosever head he had placed his arm, the person would, turn into ashes. He was like kind of a mobile cremator. So, but what happened? He started running behind Lord Shiva himself. And Shiva took the help of Lord Vishnu, who came in the form of Mohini, the enchantress. And finally, Bhasmasur became Bhasmam. We have to understand something. The world operates on so many things, but people are slave to their sense organs. We can definitely and surely understand that even the world of espionage and diplomacy is not free from these entrapments. Well, this book talks about the current situation in India, the current situation in China, the current situation in Pakistan and the US, the fair weather companions with whom you can travel be free, and the fair weather friends and the long-standing friends. And even when we look at patriotism cannot be based on some kind of a singular ideology, be it complete violence or complete non-violence. It's a mixture of everything which keeps our country safe and strong. This is exactly what Chanakya had told us in the 4th century BC through his book Artashastra. Sree Iyer ji has exactly brought out the essence of Arthashastra in the book Operation Bhasmasur. It's strange, sir, that I got the opportunity to read a book called Chanakyarum Chandraguptarum written by 𝗏𝚹 Iyer. 𝗏𝚹 Iyer is none other than the father of the former Foreign Secretary 𝗏𝚹.
Oh, okay.
The book is completely about the strategy of Chanakya. And this Bhasmasura activity comes there also. There is a Vishakanya who is sent to eliminate Chandragupta Maurya by Rakshasa himself. At which point of time, Chanakya ensures that Vishakanya, or the poisonous dame or damsel, goes to the wrong person and that person is killed. If we look at this, coming from a former diplomat's father, now today we have here a story which will take you to the Middle East, which will take you to the United States, it will take you to Vizag, it will take you to Rameshwaram, it takes you to various parts of India, including New Delhi. It talks about the Prime Minister coming out and going. Mr. Hiren Pandya, right, is the Prime Minister in this book.
Hiren Pandya is the Home Minister.
Home Minister, sorry. I think 𝗏𝚑 Jadeja.
Yes, 𝗏𝚑 Jadeja.
Jadeja is the cricketer, so 𝗏𝚑 Jadeja, a man with a smiling face. And the Prime Minister, completely trusts Hiren Pandya, the Home Minister, the RAW people, raw people.
It's
and
Kapil Pandya.
So all these people are there together. What is most interesting is you have two youngsters as protagonists, Karan Dikshit and Priya. Both of them have a wonderful equation And that part alone is very cinematic, I must say. For giving a critic on this, that is cinematic. Only the feelings, but the story is real. I can definitely say that, he's talking about the Indian Ocean, the nuclear submarines which come and go, and the threat to India from various sides. See, we had shared a 3,000 plus kilometers border with China. We have very long coastline. Gujarat alone has 1,500 plus kilometers. Tamil Nadu, the second longest coast, 1,076 kilometers. Andhra Pradesh, 976. These are longer than the other states. So the idea is to neutralize a Chinese activity which is going to take place in a very big way, and such activities were supposedly causing a lot of harm for our country and other international champions in the Indian waters. See, though the ocean is called the Indian Ocean, beyond our own territorial lines, we just simply cannot be policing such a large area. Now, with the help of technology, it is definitely possible. I must definitely say, thanks to the IT industry and the IT service providers, the average Indian seems to be more literate with the use of the smartphone and technology than anyone else in the world, it appears. Otherwise, your own book talks about the use of technology in commonplace, like as though somebody is toasting a slice of bread. Many of the characters are using it, and it will probably make people who are technologically challenged ashamed of themselves for not being able to use technology properly. The story goes, most interestingly, you should see the Pakistani part. How the corrupt ISI and how the corrupt Chinese both collaborate together to finish off India. But they fall into their own trap. What is this trap? This trap is nothing but the honey trap. Nobody is free from this. I think it is better to be straightforward and not be distracted when we think of our country and our patriotic ideals. If we think, I can always have a good time and also look after the country, sorry, it doesn't work in the world of espionage and diplomacy. This book tells us that. Because some of these spies and master spies and their operators succumb to their weaknesses, and because of which India has a better day. This book probably will take you just 2 or 3 evenings during your spare time to finish. But it will linger on like a good filter coffee, which is also spoken about in this book.
Yes.
There is one Mike Srinivasan who comes. There is filter coffee there, which will linger. It's going to stay with you for some time. Say, I'm able to remember so many names. I don't want to disclose too many things because, the charm of reading the book will go away. First 100 marks is to the style and language. Any story requires a good storyline, a good concept, and if you want to make it into a movie, it should be possible to easily adapt it into a screenplay, and that is existent here already. After which you'll have to do the scenes, you'll have to do the shots and the dialogue, etc. All of it is there. Can you find somebody running around with a gun? Yes. Can you find somebody getting killed? Yes. Can you find some shady activities going on which need to be unraveled? Yes. Can you find 2 people, behaving in a suggestive manner? Yes. Can we find a honey trap character who is used and employed by people for entrapping others, like the 40s and 50s and 60s Indian and Western movies? Western meaning not Western, Western world movies? Yes. It fits the bill. It fits the UNCLE. Those days there was a United Network Command for Law and Enforcement. They used to call it UNCLE. There was a series My dad used to have it from the 50s and 60s, I remember that. Or the Bond 007. Completely. It fits this because, except that instead of the shaken and stirred, I find the filter coffee here. It's very Indian, but very original. See, after all, we are human beings, we have similar thought processes and activities. Here, Sree Iyer has embarked on a journey. Sometimes I feel like asking him if he knows something more than what is written in the book.
There are a lot of truths in this. I'm sure many of the instances that are related here are things that our intelligence organizations are, experiencing on a daily basis.
Okay.
This I have got some feedback from my previous books from people who have been in the intelligence. They said that you are very accurate in your portrayal of how things play out, and that's what is the attempt. So if you are going to succeed in intelligence, you have to be 2 steps ahead of your adversary. That means they need to be at the cutting edge in intelligence wing to understand and ward off what they are going to come up with. So you can see here also a collaboration between United States and India, because there is a small twist in the whole thing as to how this, why the reason for the name Operation Bhasmasur, and that becomes that it gets revealed as the story progresses. And I think it's apt, because if you look at the final end, right, it's exactly what happens to Bhasmasur.
Exactly. Exactly. And you could not have, you've chosen a very good name. This Operation Sindoor is followed by Operation Bhasmasur.
Correct.
Very, very, rhyming, very precise. And if India is at its best with regard to BrahMos or being able to use S-400 better than what even the Russians would want it to be,
right,
I suppose our industry has come of age. If we are able to manage our technology and equipment properly put it in place, I suppose $100 billion defense export target is not too far away.
Not at all.
I feel, Samoa, even these two people, they look like some popular personalities. In fact, any
resemblance to people real is purely coincidental.
Absolutely. I looked at Mr. Karan Dixit, looks very similar to, with no offense meant, good looking though, like Anurag Thakur, the former minister and parliamentarian. And this lady looks like typically like one of those, spies whom you can imagine when you read a book. And, with all the equipment, with the clothes, you can imagine them, going from one place to the other, meetings with the prime minister, meetings, and how alert a prime minister needs to be. It can't be an economist. It cannot be somebody who is living in cloud 9. The prime minister has to have all of that, and also be capable of understanding the ground situation, because each portfolio, each minister, each situation will require a different facet of his brain or her brain to work. And here we find the prime minister working like that. And there are no guesses for real life similarities too.
It's a Romana genre, so it means that we are taking current political characters and fictionalizing them, but there's a grain of truth to all this.
Absolutely, that's exactly what Kalki had done.
Yeah.
In Sivakami, in Sabatham, and Ponniyin Selvan, it was fiction based on history. Now your fiction is basically based on the trends and things which are happening or may happen.
Yes.
And we need to be very alert with our naval activities, because India is at the gateway between the west and the east. Now we have those big ports.
Yes, Virinjam.
You have the ports in Mumbai, you have the ports in Gujarat, and you have this Hambantota port in Sri Lanka. All these ports have become very important, and Singapore is a very important place again. But you have rested yourself with the India, the crescent around India, and I must definitely say there are a lot of details connected with the functioning of submarines and some technical stuff which will make it easy for us, and that part is educative, I must say. because we've only seen a submarine in a movie or a documentary and have never seen a submarine in life.
True.
And this helps us to understand how a submarine works and how it can be engaged or how it can be made useless. This book talks about the engagement and how the submarine can be made useless also. Talks of EMP. So talks of technology which permeates, goes inside and disturbs. And how those disturbances can be encashed is the Bhasmasur part of the story. The Bhasmasur activity of the story. The Bhasmasur part is, of course, to do with these spies, their weaknesses, and how it shows that the Indian cultural ethos is helping us to stay safe and stay away from rubbish. If we look at it, see, China is economically very powerful, militarily extremely powerful. But what is it that is lacking in the rest of the world when compared to India is the cultural equity is absent. This book will help us understand that you have to be spiritually and culturally strong too, while you're financially and militarily strong. So Sree Iyer has given us these two other aspects also. And I'm sure somebody is going to come behind him to get the rights for a movie. And the movie is sure to be a blockbuster.
Thank you for your kind words, Rajesh and viewers. This is something that I gave him about 2 weeks ago, and he just breezed through it. And clearly, he is completely absorbed the import of what I'm trying to say. In every book of mine, there is one technology I go in some depth, because in the form of fiction, I want people to understand these are technologies that are coming down the pipeline. Some are already here. You need to understand it, because then you can better exploit them. Thanks for watching. And go ahead. You want to say something?
Definitely, this is something which is directly connected with the highest order of technology which is present in India today. India, though, has not created companies like Google, has not created companies like WhatsApp or Facebook, or created situations where you have the Twitter and everything else. They may be popular, but from what I can understand, it is supervised, produced, and manned by Indians who are the behind the screen people. There could be many others there, but the technology team is the Indian team. And if the government of India and our defense department and the external affairs people, IB and RAW in particular, decide to make use of these great technocrats, I'm sure it will not be too long before India becomes the number 2 country in the world. There's every possibility that we can overtake either one of the big countries. Definitely we can be at par with China. Civilizationally, we are an ancient civilization.
So that was Rajesh Govindarajulu giving his comments on my book, Operation Bhasmasur. And a small shout out to all of you. This is now available, shipping in volume. And this is the single with an enclosure. You can also get the single without the enclosure. That is also available. It's a little bit less expensive, and you can choose which one you want, and feel free to buy them. These are available for owning in both India and in the United States. So make use of this opportunity. This is a great connect with our culture. And thank you so much, Rajesh, for taking time to read the book and also to give your time on what you thought about the book. Thank you so much.
Thank you.